told you that you were supposed to settle? I want you to really think about that. Who looked you in the eye and convinced you that a life of quiet desperation, of barely scraping by, of watching everyone else win while you sit on the sidelines was your destiny? Somewhere along the line, you bought into a lie. You bought into the massive fabricated myth that successful people, the ones building wealth, the ones shaping their bodies, the ones living on their own terms, are genetically superior. You think they have some hidden advantage. You think they were handpicked by the universe. They weren't. They just made a choice that you are too terrified to make. Look at your life right now. Look at the slow collapse of your ambitions. You are waking up another year older in the exact same spot, paralyzed by caution. You are playing it so incredibly safe, desperately waiting for a permission slip from the world to finally start living. What is that costing you? It is costing you your dignity. It is costing you your future. It is costing you the respect of the person staring back at you in the mirror. You are losing the one game you cannot afford to lose. But that stops right now. I am not here to hold your hand. I am here to tear down the weak belief system that is keeping you broke, tired, and unnoticed. I am going to give you the exact unapologetic blueprint to rip the steering wheel back and take what is yours. No more excuses, no more waiting. Let us start with the foundation. The unbreakable rule of human existence is this: you must aggressively demand what you want from life, because absolutely nothing of value will ever be handed to you. Life does not respond to your needs, life responds to your demands. If you want something, you have to ask for it, work for it, and take it. You have to open your mouth, step into the arena, and declare your intentions. But you don't do that, do you? Instead, you fall into the trap of the timid approach. You play defense. You construct your entire existence around avoiding risk. You sit there and say, what if I fail? What if I try to start that business and it goes wrong? What if I ask for that promotion and they say no? Look at the fix I would be in. That right there is the language of the poor. That is the slow poison that kills human potential. You are so busy analyzing the roots of the tree that you completely forget to pick the fruit. You think you are protecting yourself by staying small, but in reality, you are orchestrating your own silent collapse. You fade into the background. You become a spectator to your own existence, watching other people live out the dreams that you were too scared to chase. Do you understand the sheer scale of the opportunity around you? Success is not in short supply. Wealth is not rationed. It is not a pie where someone else's slice means less for you. Receiving the abundance of this world is like walking up to the ocean. There is plenty of water for everyone. The ocean doesn't care who you are. But here is the tragedy of your current situation. You are walking up to the infinite ocean of opportunity, and you are holding a tiny plastic teaspoon. You are asking for pennies when you could be demanding a fortune. You are asking to just get by, so that is exactly what life gives you. You think stepping up to the ocean with a bucket is too risky? You think trying is risky? Let me tell you something about risk. Getting out of bed is risky. Investing your time is risky. Having relationships is risky. It is all risky. You are not going to get out of this life alive anyway. If you think trying is risky, wait until they hand you the bill for not trying. Wait until you are 80 years old, sitting in a rocking chair, suffocating under the crushing weight of regret, paying the ultimate price for playing it safe. So, what are you going to do about it? Tonight, you do not go to sleep until you execute this plan. You are going to sit down with a blank piece of paper and write down the ultimate "why not you" list. I want you to write out exactly what you are demanding from your future. Why not you to be the one who breaks the generational curse? Why not you to build a $1 million company? Why not you to get in the best physical shape of your life? Write it down, define it with brutal clarity. You demand it on paper first, and then you wake up tomorrow and you demand it from the world. Let us get straight to the blood and bone of why you are stuck. You must assume absolute, uncompromising responsibility for everything in your life. Period. No asterisk, no fine print. If your bank account is empty, it is your fault. If you are physically out of shape, it is your fault. If you are miserable in a dead-end career, it is your fault. This is the day you stop looking for a savior. This is the day you look in the mirror and accept that nobody is coming to rescue you. But accepting that truth hurts your ego, doesn't it? It is so much easier to construct an endless, pathetic list of alibis. You love that list. You hold on to it like a warm blanket. You blame the economy. You blame inflation. You blame the politicians. You blame the taxes draining your paycheck. You blame your boss for not recognizing your genius. You blame your upbringing, the weather, the traffic. You blame everyone outside of your own skin. Why? Because as long as you point the finger outward, you never have to do the grueling, uncomfortable work of looking inward. You get to play the professional victim. But understand the brutal reality of this mindset. Playing the victim is the slow, silent suicide of your potential. Every time you blame a circumstance, you surrender your power to change it. You become a hostage to your environment. Imagine a ship out in the middle of a violent, unforgiving storm. The waves are crashing, the hull is taking on water, and the ship is slowly sinking. What is the captain doing? He is standing on the deck, screaming at the wind. He is cursing the rain. He is blaming the storm for his sinking ship. But the storm does not care. The ocean does not care about his excuses. The captain is going to drown because he's too busy blaming the wind instead of grabbing the wheel. You are that captain right now. You are drowning in a storm of your own making, yelling at the sky while your life sinks right in front of your eyes. Grab the wheel. Stop expecting the wind to change. Stop expecting the seasons to shift just to accommodate your weakness. Listen to me very closely and burn this truth into your mind. It is not what happens that determines the quality of your life. It is what you do about it. The exact same wind blows on us all. The wind of disaster, the wind of tragedy, the wind of opportunity. The difference between the person building a fortune and the person begging for pennies is never the wind, it is the set of the sail. You want to change the set of your sail? Here is your execution plan. Starting this exact second, you initiate the 24-hour absolute silence protocol on complaining. For the next 24 hours, you do not whine. You do not point fingers. You do not complain about the traffic being heavy or your boss being unfair. Total, absolute silence on your excuses. When the urge to blame rises in your throat, swallow it. You own it all. If it is broken, fix it. If it is lacking, create it. Take full, terrifying responsibility for your reality. That is the exact moment you cross the line from a helpless child into a powerful adult. Let us talk about money. Let us talk about your actual value in the marketplace. Here is the unbreakable rule of economics that you have been willfully ignoring your entire life. You must work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Read that again in your mind. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. You want to know why you are broke? You want to know why your chest tightens with stress every single time the bills are due? It is not because the economy is rigged against you. It is because you are bringing absolutely zero unique value to the marketplace. You are entirely replaceable. The great trap of the working class is the glorification of blind sweat. You grind away at a dead-end job. You come in early. You skip your lunch break. You stay late. You pride yourself on being a hard worker. If I asked anyone who knows you, they would say, oh yes, they work hard. But look at your bank account. Look at your massive debt. You are a hard worker, yes, but you are working hard on your job, not on yourself. You think that just because you are sweating, you are advancing. That is a devastating lie. True wealth is not contained in what you get at the end of the week. It is contained in what you become. If you only ever do standard work, relying on your standard education, you will only ever get standard results. And standard results in this world are miserable. You are acting exactly like a desperate lumberjack out in the forest, violently swinging a dull axe at a massive tree. You are swinging all day long. Your hands are blistering and bleeding. Your back is breaking. You are completely exhausted. Someone walks by and says, why don't you stop for a minute and sharpen that axe? And what do you say? You say exactly what every broke, exhausted person says. I do not have time to stop. I'm too busy chopping. Do you see the pure insanity in that? You are too busy struggling to actually fix the tool that would end your struggle. You are the axe, your mind is the blade, and right now, your blade is terrifyingly dull. You cannot change the seed, you cannot change the soil, you cannot change the rain or the mix of the seasons. Let the miracle of nature do its job. Your job is to work on the inside. Remember this truth until the day you die. If you work hard on your job, you will make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. You want to change your economics? You must become aggressively self-educated. Standard education got you a standard paycheck. Self-education will get you the fortune. Here is your execution plan. Starting today, you will institute a mandatory, non-negotiable 30-minute daily window dedicated entirely to your own mind. 30 minutes a day. Read a book that actually challenges you. Listen to a lecture that confronts your laziness. Study success, study wealth, study happiness. If you wish to be wealthy, you do not just hope for it, you study wealth. Do not leave your intellectual growth to chance. Take 30 minutes a day to sharpen the blade. You do that step by step, book by book, idea by idea, and I promise you, the marketplace will have no choice but to pay you what you are actually worth. Let us talk about the invisible engine that drives all human achievement. We have talked about demanding what you want, taking absolute responsibility, and increasing your value in the marketplace. But none of that matters if you do not have a destination. You must build a future vision so powerful, so incredibly magnetic, that it literally drags you through hell to get there. You need an unshakable purpose. Look at how the masses live. Look at the trap of modern existence. You are probably caught in it right now. You are just surviving day to day. You wake up exhausted. You drag yourself to a job you merely tolerate. You pay the bills. You come home. You stare at a screen to numb your mind, and you go to sleep. Then you wake up and do it all over again. You are working for a paycheck instead of a purpose. Do you feel that heavy, constant fatigue in your bones? That is not physical tiredness. That is spiritual and mental exhaustion. It is the slow, agonizing death of living without a target. You are trading your very life force, your heartbeat, for a few dollars to survive the week, all because you have no compelling reason to do anything else. Think about $1 million high-performance engine, a pure masterpiece of engineering, built for absolute power, built for speed, built to dominate the track. Now, imagine taking that magnificent machine, locking it inside a dark, humid garage, turning it on and just letting it idle, day after day, month after month. What happens? It does not stay perfect. It starts to choke on its own exhaust. The seals dry out, it begins to rust from the inside out. It breaks down entirely, not from being driven too hard, but from absolute neglect, because it has nowhere to go. That engine is your mind right now. You possess raw, staggering horsepower, but you are idling in the garage of your daily routine, rusting away from lack of use. Why? Because you stopped dreaming. You let the world convince you to grow up and be realistic. But I'm telling you, realistic is the most dangerous word in the human language. Realism keeps you broke. Realism keeps you average. Here is the absolute truth you need to understand. Without a dream to pull you forward, the gravity of average will pull you under. If you do not have a massive, burning reason to fight through the friction of life, the first time you get hit, the first time you fail, the first time someone tells you no, you will collapse. You will surrender to the comfort of the couch. You need something out there in the future that pulls you through the pain, through the late nights, and through the paralyzing doubt. Here is your execution plan to fix this immediately. This weekend, you are going to isolate yourself. You are going to find a quiet space, lock yourself in a room, turn off your phone, and sit in total silence with a pen and a notebook. You are going to architect your purpose. You are going to write down the impossible 5-year vision. I do not want small, safe goals. I want you to write a vision so massive, so audacious, that it actually terrifies you to look at it in ink. How much money is in the bank? What does your physical body look like? Who are you rescuing from poverty? What kind of respect do you command when you walk into a room? Get brutally specific. Create a future so vivid that it makes your current reality unacceptable. Stop idling in the dark. Give your engine a destination. We need to talk about an emotion you have been completely conditioned to suppress. Society tells you to be overwhelmingly positive. They tell you to just accept your circumstances, to practice gratitude for the bare minimum, and to find peace with exactly where you are. But I am not here to tell you to be peaceful while you are losing. I am telling you to get angry. I am telling you to weaponize your profound frustration. You must use your absolute disgust as the explosive, undeniable fuel for your own transformation. Human beings are incredibly, terrifyingly adaptable. You can get used to almost anything, and that right there is your biggest problem today. You have learned to tolerate the intolerable. You have gotten completely comfortable being broke. You have gotten comfortable being exhausted all the time. You have gotten comfortable walking into a room, lowering your head, and feeling entirely disrespected. You look at your empty bank account and you just shrug. You look at your failing physical condition and you make a self-deprecating joke about it. You tell yourself it is really not that bad. You tell yourself that everyone else is struggling too, so it must be normal. You desperately justify your own misery so you do not have to put in the agonizing work required to escape it. You are acting exactly like a pressure cooker sitting on a hot stove. If you seal a pressure cooker tight, the pressure builds, the heat intensifies, and it creates enough raw, concentrated energy to completely transform whatever is trapped inside. But what are you doing? You are a pressure cooker that is constantly, deliberately leaking steam. Every single time you complain to your coworkers about your boss, you let out a little steam. Every time you whine to your friends about the economy, you let out a little steam. Every time you post a sad excuse on the internet, you release the pressure. You never let the frustration build. You never let the heat get intense enough to actually blow the lid off the problem. You just sit there, leaking steam, safely simmering in your own mediocrity for decades. You need to stop leaking the steam. You need the pressure. You need to feel the sharp, burning pain of your reality, because one of the most powerful, life-altering forces a human being can ever harness is absolute, unadulterated disgust. Disgust says, I have had it. That is the day your life changes forever. Your life does not change the day you get inspired. Inspiration is cheap. Inspiration fades the very second the alarm goes off at 4 in the morning and it is cold outside. Disgust does not fade. Disgust looks at the eviction notice and says, enough. Disgust looks at the weak reflection in the mirror and says, never again. Disgust draws a massive, immovable line in the dirt, looks at the past, and violently refuses to take one more step backward. When are you going to draw your line? When are you going to reach your absolute breaking point? You do not need another temporary rush of motivation. You need to be deeply, thoroughly disgusted with your own endless excuses. Here is your execution plan. Tonight, identify the single most painful, humiliating area of your life. What is the one thing you are so deeply disgusted by that it makes your stomach turn? Is it your lack of financial control? Is it your complete lack of discipline? Find it. Look directly at it. Do not look away. Feel the absolute crushing weight of it. And then I want you to stand up, look yourself dead in the eyes in a mirror, and declare out loud, never again. Not for one more day. Take that disgust, seal the lid tight, stop complaining to the world, and let that pressure build until it forces you to become someone entirely new. Let us talk about the absolute mechanics of relentless resolve. You have demanded what you want. You have taken responsibility. You are sharpening your mind. You have a massive vision, and you are fueled by pure disgust. But none of that matters if you shatter at the exact moment life pushes back. You must adopt the until mentality. You work until you win. Period. There is no plan B. There is no safety net. There is only the objective and the relentless, mechanical pursuit of it. But what do you do right now? You quit at the absolute first sign of friction. You start the new routine, you step on the scale 3 days later, you do not see a miracle, and you quit. You start the business, you get 2 people telling you no, your ego gets bruised, and you immediately fold. You have been conditioned to believe that failure is a giant red stop sign. You think that because a task is intensely difficult, it means you are not supposed to do it. You look for the nearest exit the second you start sweating. You want the reward without the sacrifice. You want fortune without the friction. But friction is exactly where the growth is manufactured. Friction is the world testing you, looking you dead in the eye and asking, do you actually want this, or were you just talking? And every single time you quit, you prove you were just talking. Think about the sheer absurdity of how you approach your goals compared to a toddler. Think about a baby learning to walk. The baby stands up, takes a wobbly step, and falls straight on its face. Does the mother look at the baby and say, well, you gave it a good try for 3 days, but maybe walking just isn't for you. Let us just stick to crawling for the rest of your life? Of course not. That is complete insanity. If I asked you how long should a baby try to learn how to walk, what would you say? You would look at me like I am crazy and say, until. The baby tries until it walks. The baby tries until it figures it out. It does not matter if it takes 100 falls or 1,000 falls. The deadline does not exist. The only metric is the result. Why did you lose that mentality? When did you start putting cheap expiration dates on your own potential? You need to understand the raw, terrifying power of human resolve. I want you to carve this absolute truth into your brain. Nothing can resist a human will that stakes its very existence on its purpose. Nothing. Not the economy, not your past, not your lack of education. Absolutely nothing can stop a human being who has firmly decided they will do it or die trying. Here is your execution plan. Today, you must identify the exact skill or discipline standing between you and your massive vision. Is it sales? Is it public speaking? Is it mastering your physical health? Pick it. And then physically write out a binding contract with yourself. Write it in heavy ink. I will read the books until my skills change. I will practice this craft until I develop the ability. I will fail until I understand. Remove the timeline. Remove the escape hatch. Lock the door behind you and burn the ships. You commit to the process until you hold the result in your hands. Let us talk about the greatest, most devastating lie you tell yourself every single morning. The lie of tomorrow. You have the foundation now. You have the vision, you have the disgust, and you have the resolve. But none of it, absolutely none of it means a single thing if you do not execute immediately. The core rule of transformation is as brutal as it is simple. Execution must be immediate. Tomorrow is a lie told by cowards to comfort themselves. Tomorrow is the silent graveyard where human potential goes to rot. You have to kill tomorrow and resurrect today. You are deeply, fundamentally infected with the disease of someday. Someday I will start that business. Someday when the kids are a little older, I will finally focus on my health. Someday when the economy stops fluctuating, when I have a little more money saved up, when the stars align perfectly and my boss is in a good mood, then I will make my move. Do you hear how ridiculous that sounds? You are waiting for the perfect condition to start living, but perfect conditions are a complete fabrication. They do not exist. The longer you wait for everything to be perfectly right, the more you guarantee that absolutely nothing will ever happen. You are paralyzing yourself with endless preparation, confusing planning with actual progress. Think about the pure stupidity of this mindset. It is exactly like walking out to your car, sitting in the driver's seat, turning the key, gripping the steering wheel, and refusing to put the car in drive until you can guarantee that every single traffic light in the entire city is green at the exact same time you would sit in your driveway until you starved to death. You are sitting in the driveway of your life right now. You are waiting for green lights that will never ever come. You have to put the car in drive. You have to press the gas, and you have to deal with the red lights, the traffic, and the roadblocks as they happen in real time. You just have to move. Time is completely indifferent to your excuses. Time does not care about your hesitations, your fears, or your careful little plans. Listen to me and hear this truth. There never was a better time. There never will be a perfect time. If you do not take this dream, pull it out of your head, and breathe life into it today, it dies with you. It goes to the grave completely unrealized, and the world will never know what you could have been. So, how do we break this paralysis? How do we stop the bleeding? Here is your exact execution plan. We are implementing the 5-minute rule, and we are doing it today, not next week, not on Monday, today. Before your head hits the pillow tonight, before you close your eyes and surrender to sleep, you must take one physical, undeniable action toward your massive goal. I do not care how small it feels. Buy the domain name, send the uncomfortable email, do 20 push-ups on your bedroom floor, read one single chapter of that financial book, move the needle. Force your intention into reality. You take the first step today, because tomorrow is absolutely not promised to you. Look at what we have built here today. Take a breath and look at it. Can you feel that heavy, undeniable shift in your chest? Can you feel the suffocating weight of your old excuses finally starting to crack and fall away? That is the feeling of the new you. That is the ironclad confidence of a human being who has firmly decided to stop waiting for a permission slip from the universe. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are the architect of your reality. And I want you to truly understand the terrifying, beautiful power of momentum. The physical action you take tonight might seem small to you right now, but that one decision cascades. One disciplined choice today bleeds into tomorrow. Tomorrow bleeds into next week. Next week turns into a month of relentless focus. And exactly 1 year from today, you are going to look in the mirror and you will not even recognize the dominant, powerful, uncompromising person staring back at you. I asked you the question at the very beginning, and I will ask it one last time. Why not you? Why not you to be the one who changes the bloodline? Why not you to build the fortune? Why not you to have it all? The speech is over. The motivation is done. Now it is time for the cold, hard work. I want you to shut off this video. I want you to put down your phone. Stop scrolling, stop consuming, stand up, walk to the mirror, look yourself dead in the eye, and demand your future. Start today, not tomorrow. Now go do it.